Hello, hello. Welcome to week 2 of your new coach mentorship. So excited to have you here. I hope that after week 1, going through that with Cassie, just kind of lit your heart on fire for this business. I'm Coach Gail, and I've been a coach for 5.5 years. I'm a mom of 3, and number 4 is on the way. And I can't say enough amazingness about this business, but it has just truly transformed my life from the inside out. And I'm just such a better mom, wife, person in general because of coaching, and that it has been my number 1 job to take care of myself. And so excited to just continue this journey and share it with you.
Hi, everybody. I am Coach Gina. I have been a coach for 6 years. I have 4 kids. I now stay home with them, but I was an elementary physical education teacher before I found coaching, and even my first few years of the business. I'm very excited to share on week 2 with you guys. So we are going to talk about 2 things today, and those are inviting and what do I do when someone is interested. So first off, inviting. We know that in this business, you can't do much unless you reach out to people and send them an invite. And this goes more than just what you put on your storefront of posts. So we talked about posting last week and making sure you open up your storefront and letting people know what you're about. But a huge piece of what we do is having those private conversations behind the scenes. So I'm going to kind of skip to the bottom here, and it says, imagine your neighbor was having a party. You probably would not show up if you weren't invited. So perfect example of this is my high school graduation. I remember I made like a flyer, and I think I gave it to people, but I never specifically said like who I wanted there. I didn't do personal invitations. Same thing if you were to post something on your Facebook that said, hey, I'm having a party, I hope you can come. But it wasn't directed at anyone specifically. People will think, oh, wow, she's or he's having a party, but they're not talking to me. So by sending a personal invite to what you have going on, you are opening up the door and letting people know that specifically you are talking to them and you want them to do what it is that you're inviting them to do with them. You are giving them that personal invite. So there's a few ways that we do this. We do this through our posts, through our stories on social media, and then through a list that you create. Last week, we talked about creating that list. So you should hopefully already have your first list ready to go of people that you would be starting your invites from. But if we go back to posts, that would be you make a post and you get some likes on it, or you get some people commenting on it. All of those likes and comments are invites. Those are not people you want to slip through the cracks. You want to let them know that you appreciate them. So you're acknowledging them and you're inviting them because they are interested in your stuff. They've seen your post. For some reason, they like it. Maybe they're not interested in what it was about, but they like you, or they like the message behind it. They're a person who is interested in what you are about. So you definitely want to make sure anytime you make a post, you go back the next day, maybe even the next couple of days, and you see any new people who have been or liked or commented, and you write them down. And that is somebody that you would definitely want to send an invite to. The next one is stories. If you're using stories, and this is a great way for people to see who you're about, the behind the scenes of your everyday life, what your family's like, what your house looks like, your likes, your dislikes, your quirks, is what you share in your stories. It's those people who are watching your stories. And if you need help with that, ask your support person, your upline, on how to view your story viewers. But once you make a story, you can see who viewed your story, and those are all potential invites as well. So obviously, if it's one of us on your story, you don't need to send one to us. But if it's Stacy or Kim or John, those are people you would want to send an invite to. And we'll go into simple ways to do this, but don't discredit your stories. Those are great places to find invites. And then again, off of the list that you create, and you really want to be adding to that list all of the time. It doesn't have to be through a post or a story viewer. It can be through a new contact, but always have that ongoing list of people that you can invite to. So what are you going to invite to? You need to plan who it is or where you are going to be inviting these people to. And that kind of starts from joining a group. So this can be joining your uplines group to start off. If you're not comfortable creating your own group yet, get with them, find out what they have going on. Maybe there's a new test group coming out, a new program right now. When you're watching this, we currently have Lift More coming out. Some people will be doing a group on that. You want to have an idea of what it is that you're inviting to. So it's either going to be the business or something coming up. Maybe it's a free group. Maybe it's a group that your upline is running, or maybe it's a group that you want to start. But having that plan in place is really important, and it makes it easier. It's not just inviting on a whim. You're really narrowing it down what it is that you're going to be asking them to join. You have an actual place once they respond yes or no. Inviting scripts. We are going to send some examples, but this is how you would send your invites. And we like to use an "Are you open" script, which isn't something assuming that anybody wants to join your event. You're simply saying, hey, I'm doing this. Are you open to details? You can kind of go off of the scripts. You can tweak for yourself, but it never has to be anything that is too wordy or too involved. And it's simply just saying, are you open to information about what I have to offer? So again, if they're not personally invited, they don't know that you're talking to them. So always make sure that one of your vital behaviors is those inviting behind the scenes. So what's going to happen when you invite? When you invite, you're going to get these three things a lot. And in the beginning, this is probably going to be about 90 to 95% of what happens when you send your invites. It is completely normal. If you are somebody who's getting responses all of the time, you need to let us know, because you are a rare bird, you're a unicorn, and we want to know what you're doing. But for the majority of us, you get objections, you get ghosting, and you get no's. People need to see something. They need to view something 5 to 7 times before they commit. Meaning when you send that first invite, chances are they're not going to respond. But the more you show up in your stories, the more you show up in your posting, and the more you follow up, the higher chance it is that people will come around. I would say that currently 6 years in the business, almost all of the people that I help each month are from someone who I invited 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, because I haven't stopped and they know that I'm serious about what I'm doing. Another reason they might object, ghost, or say no, they either don't see the value in what you have to offer, or they don't value themselves enough yet. A lot of times people will say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. And that's usually they're suppressing a deeper objection, and that's they don't believe in themselves. They don't think they're worth spending the money. They don't think they're worth the time because they've done things before and it hasn't worked. So why is this going to be anything different? Another reason, people are busy. They forget to respond. How many of us have gotten a text from our mom or somebody and we go to respond? Gail and I were just talking about this, and we're in the checkout line and it's our turn and we put our phone away, and then 17 other things happen before we even get to the car and we forget to send a response. That happens to people, and it is completely normal. And you have to remember that a no is just a not yet or a not right now. If you can get this in your head that it's normal to have objections, ghosting, and no's, you will do a lot better in this business. It is not uncommon. It's not unheard of. It's expected, and we all go through it. And it is your chance to be excited because you've taken action and now to have a game plan to move forward. Your job is to plant the seeds, right? People will remember you when they need something off of your follow-ups, off of your posting, and off of your initial invite. They just will. So keep showing up and they will come around. So you've done your inviting, right? You're starting to get no's. You might be getting nothing. You might be getting yeses, I'm interested. Regardless, you want to have a tracking system set up. This is something I wish I had done more efficiently when I started my business. So for you, please make sure you do one of these things to track. First, easiest way to do it is to just write down the name of the person that you invited. Sam. Put a last initial, because you never know how many Sams you're going to talk to. If you're super hungry in this business, you're going to be talking to every Sam that you know. So maybe even write their last name in there. And you want to write down when you invited them, because if you do this business consistently, you're going to start having a lot of people that you're having conversations with each month. And you don't want to forget when you talked about them. So make sure you add that date and then set a follow-up date, anywhere from a couple weeks to a few months, depending on how they responded. If they haven't responded, you can kind of look in the scripts on how we follow up. But if they said no, you want to make sure that you write down, okay, in another month, I know that I need to follow up with Sam. And how do you track? You can do it a bunch of different ways. Some people are pen and paper. This is a great way to start. I think this is how I started. But again, If you're really running your business, you're going to want to move to something further down here, which is a spreadsheet. You could do a Google document, or there is, excuse me, a service called Teamsy. And that is a way to really track. You do pay for it. It's a small monthly fee, but it helps do all of your tracking and your follow-ups for you. It's a really organized system. Whatever you choose for you when you first start, just make sure you track somehow. So paper and pen is fine, but eventually you want to move into some kind of electronic system where you have it stored and you can easily go back as you continue your invites throughout the month and as the year goes on. All right, Gail, I am going to Linda take you away. So we've done our inviting. We're rock stars. We're not worried about the no's, but someone's interested, Gail. What do I do now?
Oh man, this is when we get excited, not scared. This is when we have the window of opportunity to change someone's life, right? And share what we've been doing and what we know is changing our lives. And we know it can work for somebody else. And so we just have a simple process. We're going to ask questions. We're going to make recommendations. We're going to give some options. And if all goes well, we're going to send an enrollment and we'll go into more detail. All right, someone says they're interested. You're going to ask questions. This is truly just like having a conversation with your best friend. It's not a deer in the headlights. Oh no, like what's going on? What do I do? Take a deep breath and you're going to talk about them. Our goal is to learn about their goals, their health, and we want to make a recommendation based on their needs. The beauty of Beachbody is we truly do have something for almost everybody. Right? We have something for the pregnant mom. We have something for the postpartum mom. We have someone who maybe needs to lose a lot of weight, someone that is new to fitness, someone that's extremely athletic. I mean, you name it, or who just needs help with nutrition. You name it, we have something for everybody. Go back a slide. So we're going to ask questions based on their needs. And it can go something like this. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions so I can make a recommendation for you? This lets them know like, hey, she cares about me. She wants to know what's going on, not just make a sale, right? We want to have that conversation. We want people to feel like we truly are in this for them because we want to change their life. And so having that conversation and asking questions, it builds that relationship and that trust. And so simply saying, what are your current health goals? What is working? And what are you struggling with or need help with the most? Based on that conversation, sometimes it's a back and forth message. I really like to voice message on Messenger, or if I have their text, I like to send voice messages a little bit. It's kind of whatever you feel most comfortable with. In the beginning, I'm sure I only did text messaging through Messenger, but I do like to send voice messages too. But based on what they say, then you can make recommendations and say, okay, well, what type of workouts do you need if they're looking for, a workout regimen? How many days a week? We know that Beachbody has so many programs now that are less than 7 days a week, which can be ideal for maybe your clientele. Or maybe they have fitness under control and they need nutrition. That was me. I had CrossFit. Don't count those CrossFit people off your list. I was 100% CrossFit, but I needed help with nutrition. And so really speaking again to that person, you can find more about what tools do I have that I can offer them? And when they do tell you, make sure you say, thanks for sharing. I know sharing about your health can be very vulnerable, but I'm so excited because I got some ideas already running in my head. Is it okay if I share them with you? And of course, they're going to be like, yes, like, let me hear it. I'm really interested. And so if you are brand new to Beachbody, you might not know all of the options. So make sure at any time you can always check in with your coach or the thread and say, oh, I'm not for sure. I'm so new. Like this person wants this, this, and this. But let's just say a busy mama doesn't have much time, then 20 minutes, 5 days a week is job one. Like I've been offering that to every busy person I know, because 20 minutes is so doable. So in this recommendation, I'm going to recommend a 20-minute program, right? Job one. You can see kind of what she says in there. I'm going based on maybe her nutritional needs. She wants structure. She wants someone to tell her what to eat, how much to eat, because she struggles with portion control, right? So I'm going to offer portion control and give her a little breakdown about what that looks like. Maybe she also said, I skip breakfast, or I'm really struggling with my sugar cravings. So I'm like, Shakeology, our superfood shake, is perfect for this to really help. And again, if you don't know some of these, we have amazing third-party tools right in our back office. So you could send someone a Sizzler video about job one. You could send somebody a video about why Shakeology is so amazing, right? Because we're not expected to know all of the stuff, right? This is a do business, learn more as you go. And so just remember, like, we have so many tools to help you through this process. And then lastly, you're going to share the excitement about the community you are offering them. This is truly like the glue that puts it all together, is our amazing supportive community, because a wellness journey is so hard to do alone, right? But when you are in it with other people, it really makes it so much more enjoyable. It makes it easier to stick and stay committed. So you're talking that up and you're sharing that. And you're at the end, you're going to ask a question. How does this sound? Does this sound like something that would benefit you? Does this sound like something you want to make, you want to invest in? Because it is an investment. If they say, yeah, great, right? Then you're gonna share kind of a breakdown, and you can see here, and again, you can screenshot this. This will be in the slides that we'll provide. There's a link coming up. But you're going to send over some information for them, and you're going to break it down just a little bit so they can see. Again, we do have some visuals that we can share, because some people like to see different options, right? They like to see images of the pretty box of Shakeology and then the breakdown of everything. Maybe you got an image yourself when you signed up, but this is also a great way to share with someone on what they're getting, breaking it down and showing the value of the package. And make sure you definitely say, and you get me as your coach to help you. You're never in this alone. I think sometimes we forget the value that we do bring people, right? And I always say, I'm here to lead you, guide you, and support you, but I can't do the work for you. But I'm here showing up every day in the thick and thin with you. And I know you can do this with me too. And so you're sharing these options. And again, you're saying, which looks best for you? And you're ending with a question. They might have questions. They might say this one. I mean, they could kind of go different ways. Again, we got lots of options, so we'll help you get through all of that too as you get going. And they say, all right, that's great. How do I get started? We're going to use that share a cart option. Share a cart is a very simple tool. You just need to know their email, and you need to know what flavors of supplements they want to start with. Again, we have beautiful images, or you can text it to them, every single option. I think our images will be in the document that we'll share, or we'll for sure, that is something we will put in the chat thread for you, or your coach will give you. You do not have to recreate anything by yourself. So don't think like, oh, I have to recreate all this. Nope. This business, we are sharers and we give to one another. And so you just need to know what's your email, what flavors do you want? I'm going to send over this shopping cart, make it super simple for you, and we'll get you enrolled. And once you get them enrolled, then you're going to send them a welcome guide, which then, as you can see, this is a beautiful guide already made for you that welcomes them and gives them really a step-by-step instruction, right? It talks about your wellness group. It talks about accessing Beachbody on demand, all the resources. So again, all of that work is done for you. It takes the stress away from you being the new coach, not really knowing what's going on. And you just get to provide and support them as they get going. And again, you'll get access to this link, and you'll just want to make sure that it has, your group details, whether you're doing a Facebook group or a BOD group, and anything else that just needs to be tweaked and modified for you. All right, so here is but what if they tell me no? No, just like Gina said, sometimes no is not right now. No is, it's that fear of, I know I need to do this, but some people say no because they think they can't make the commitment. So that's okay. You just say, thanks so much for getting back to me. Absolutely no worries. Life is busy. I'm here when you need something, and you can gift them something. You can gift them a meal plan. You can gift them a free workout. You can gift them a recipe from the Beachbody blog. You could gift them like, hey, I'm reading this book and it has absolutely changed my mindset. Check it out if you want. We'll provide that tiny URL link of a free workout and a meal plan, right? But we're just there understanding we're not taking it personally. And we're knowing, I said no for 3 years. So I always try to think like, okay, when people say no, it's fine. It just takes them a while. They want to follow you. They want to continue to build that relationship. And that is why we follow up in a month. Okay, so you're going to write their name down, hopefully with your tracking, and you're like, okay, I'm going to just check back with you next month, see how things are going, see where we're at. But in the meantime, I'm going to give them some love, bless and release, and move on and find those who are ready for you this month. All right, Gina, we'll go into the homework.
All right, I had to unmute myself. Okay, so week 2 homework. You have 3 things we want you to do. First, invite your first 20 to 50 people by the end of the week, and then repeat it again next week. So again, you should have that list. Go off of that list. You know where to invite from: posts, stories, and then as people come up in your mind. Number 2, continue to post on your social media and share the link into the thread. We want to see that. When we see a link, we all go in there and we'll love on your picture. If you have a public profile, we'll be able to comment on it as well. But continue to post on that social media, open up that storefront. And then homework number 3, edit the new Challenger welcome packet. So that's putting your name in there and making sure that it's edited to you. So when you get your first person started, they will have that ready to go packet there in their hands to be able to look at as well and be successful. All scripts and links from tonight, they're available here. So right now, take a screenshot. If you are a pen and paper person, you can write this down. But this is where you're going to get everything that you need from what we talked about on this call tonight. Questions, if you have any, put them in the chat thread. No question is a bad question. We all are going to learn from each other. The more questions you ask, the faster you'll get through the learning process. Or reach out to your upline and say, hey, can you send me, the flavor graphic? I couldn't find it. Or I don't really understand, what she was saying about inviting from my stories. How do I find my story viewers? Just ask those questions. That's how you're going to grow faster, and you'll be able to just learn by doing, basically, rather than just consuming the information. Take the action and empower yourself through that action and asking those questions. All right, Gail, did I forget anything, or should we wrap it up?
I think that's it. I think we gave them a lot to think about and get excited about.
Awesome. All right, you guys, be so proud of yourself that you watched week 2, and we believe in you already. Whether you believe in yourself or not, we believe in you. Show up for call 3, do the stuff. We want to see you for call 3. And we're just excited for you guys.
Yes. And somebody needs you. Someone is out there saying, I'm ready to change my life. Yes. So don't hold back.
All right, you guys, get going on that homework. We'll see you next week.